allegations of inappropriate touching. This morning, the former vice president's accuser speaking out, describing what she says happened at a campaign rally 5 years ago.
The vice president of the United States of America is touching me and kissing me and smelling my hair.
The allegations coming as Biden considers a possible run for president. Democratic candidates putting the pressure, what Biden is saying about the accusations.
Battle over the border. President Trump increasing the pressure, cutting aid to 3 Central American nations and threatening to close the border in just days. Democrats responding this morning.
Student murder arrest, a man accused of kidnapping and killing a University of South Carolina senior after she got into his car.
We believe that she simply mistakenly got into this particular car thinking it was an Uber ride.
The critical clues investigators say they have recovered.
Dodgers fan attacked. The man now on life support after an incident in the stadium parking lot.
Someone needs to come forward. I know people saw it. I heard them. I know people saw it.
The plea from his wife as her husband fights for his life.
First trip to the Final Four. And hoopla, the buzzer beater that sent this March Madness game into overtime and a costly turnover, sealing the victory for Virginia against Purdue. Plus, the Texas Tech Raiders swatting favorite Gonzaga out of the tournament.
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
Good Sunday morning. The dance full of ups and downs. We know you were watching them. We've got 2 more games to go.
Which dance are we talking about?
This dance, the March Madness. 2 more games before we lock in the Final Four. Who's moving on? Who's going home? We will have much more on March Madness ahead, Dan. It is basketball.
Very exciting upsets. His bracket actually doing better than ours, though, I think, somehow in all of this. Also, though, coming up, take a look at this. A green fireball in the sky over Florida. A lot of people talking about this. We'll tell you what it is coming up later on in the show. But we begin with a pair of big political stories. First, former Vice President Joe Biden, who is reportedly on the cusp of announcing a presidential campaign, is now accused of inappropriate touching. How he's responding this morning.
The other big story this morning, will President Trump shut down the entire U.S. border with Mexico? He is threatening to do so this week. We're covering both of these stories this morning. John Carl is standing by with analysis. But let's start here with ABC's Stephanie Ramos, who's right there in D.C., with more on this allegation against Joe Biden. Stephanie, good morning.
Dan, good morning. A former Nevada politician says she was initially grateful and flattered that former Vice President Joe Biden was supporting her campaign for lieutenant governor back in 2014. But she says by the end of an event, he made her feel uneasy, gross, and confused after she says he kissed the back of her head.
This morning, we're hearing for the first time from the woman accusing former Vice President Joe Biden of inappropriately touching and kissing the back of her head 5 years ago.
At that point, it wasn't even Joe Biden. It was the second most powerful man in the country. The vice president of the United States of America is touching me and kissing me and smelling my hair.
Lucy Flores, a former Nevada politician, says the encounter happened right before she took the stage at a campaign rally. She came forward with her allegations in New York Magazine Friday.
What do? You know, who do you tell? It was awkward and disturbing and weird, but at the same time, it doesn't rise to the level of what most people would consider a very serious transgression.
In a statement to ABC News, Biden's spokesperson says neither the vice president nor his staff recall what Flores describes or got the impression she had been uncomfortable. Vice President Biden believes that Ms. Flores has every right to share her own recollection and reflections, and that it is a change for better in our society that she has the opportunity to do so. This is not the first time Biden has come under scrutiny for his behavior around women. In 2015, Biden put his hands on Stephanie Carter's shoulders, whispering in her ear during her husband's swearing in as Secretary of Defense. But the Flores allegations come as Biden considers a possible run for president in 2020. Democratic presidential candidates are now reacting to her claim.
I believe Lucy Flores, and Joe Biden needs to give an answer.
We need to live in a nation where people can hear her truth.
So why is she speaking out now? Well, she says hearing Biden's potential candidacy for president discussed without much talk about his past as it relates to women became too much to keep bottled up. However, several staffers, including women, are coming to Biden's defense. One former staffer tweeted she never felt uncomfortable with how he treated her or other women. Whit.
And the former vice president will certainly be answering more questions on this moving forward. Stephanie Ramos, thanks so much in Washington for us. We do want to move on now to the immigration battle. President Trump ramping up the pressure this weekend on that threat to close the border in just a matter of days. ABC's Tara Palmieri is covering the president in Florida and joins us now from West Palm Beach. Tara, good morning.
Good morning, Whit. President Trump has threatened to close the border before, but now he's warning he'll do it this time. But his decision to cut hundreds of millions of dollars in aid to 3 Central American countries for not doing enough to stop these migrants is one of his most severe actions yet. President Trump taking drastic measures to stop the surge in migrants crossing the U.S.-Mexican border.
Mexico is going to have to do something, otherwise I'm closing the border.
The president announcing that he's cutting off humanitarian aid to Honduras, El Salvador, and Guatemala, 3 countries that are the primary source for migrant caravans.
We were giving them $500 million. We were paying them tremendous amounts of money, and we're not paying them anymore, because they haven't done a thing for us.
According to U.S. Customs and Border Protection, the number of illegal crossings has risen. 76,000 migrants were stopped at the border in February. 40,000 of those were families. Federal officials say March is on track to surpass those figures, with an estimated 95,000 migrants. The CBP announcing that 40% of its guards have been diverted from the border to process some of those families.
We'll keep it closed for a long time. I'm not playing games. Mexico has to stop it. They have people coming right through Mexico.
While President Trump unverifiably claims illegal immigration has led to rising crime, Democratic candidates offering a more inclusive message.
We are safe, not despite the fact that we are a city of immigrants and asylum seekers. We are safe because we are a city of immigrants and asylum seekers.
When a mama picks up her baby and flees violence and death threats, the United States listens. That's part of what we do. It's part of who we are.
The State Department announced that it will work with Congress to suspend aid already allotted to these Central American countries for 2017 and 2018. But overnight, congressional Democrats are already saying that they'll fight this. Dan?
Tara Palmieri, thank you very much. So much to talk about here. So let's bring in our chief White House correspondent, Jonathan Karl, who's going to be hosting This Week later this morning. He's right there in D.C. John, good morning. Let me start with this threat to shut down the border. Given the gigantic potential economic damage that could be caused by closing this huge border, do you think that's a risk the president is really ready to take?
Well, Dan, this is not the first time that he's threatened to shut down the border. He threatened to do it back in December and did not do it. But you are correct. The economic risk is tremendous here. $1.7 billion worth of goods cross back and forth over that Mexican border every single day. So there is a lot at stake. And there are a couple of things that are a little odd about this threat. The biggest one is that Secretary of Homeland Security Kirstjen Nielsen had just this week praised Mexico for helping the United States to deal with this issue. She had just worked out what she called an historic agreement with El Salvador, Honduras, and Guatemala to deal with the issue. Now you have the president cutting off aid, or saying he's going to cut off aid to those countries and threatening to close off the border. So it remains to be seen whether he follows through with this threat, but it would undoubtedly have big economic repercussions if he does.
High stakes here. Let me loop back to the story we began our show with, this allegation against the former Vice President Joe Biden. He appears to be on the verge of announcing he's running for president. How damaging is this allegation?
I think this is potentially very damaging. You're already seeing some of his competitors or potential competitors, if he gets into the race, 2020 candidates, saying that they believe Lucy Flores And also, you have to look at Biden's own words when he was talking about the Kavanaugh allegations, and he addressed this issue of when women make allegations, he says the default position is you believe the accuser, and that's what a lot of his Democratic competitors are doing. I think it's a significant issue and one he's going to have to address much more directly than he has done so far.
This could shake up an already very let's just say, exciting race.
Yes.
John Karl, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. I want to remind everybody, John has a big show this morning. He's going to go one-on-one with the acting chief of staff at the White House, Mick Mulvaney, plus Democratic Senator Amy Klobuchar discussing her 2020 presidential campaign. It's all coming up on This Week later this morning, right here on ABC. Eva, over to you.
Well, also this morning, Pope Francis wrapping up his trip to Morocco with a mass and a meeting with local clergy on this Sunday. On Saturday, a security scare during welcoming ceremonies when a man with something in his hand, possibly a note, raced toward King Mohammed's car with the Pope in his Pope-mobile nearby. Now, that man was quickly tackled by security and taken into custody. The Pope's visit to Morocco is meant to encourage interfaith dialogue.
Also overseas this morning, tensions rising high in Gaza this weekend. Militants firing 5 rockets into Israel early this morning after a day of mass Palestinian protests on the Israeli border. 4 Palestinians, including 3 teens, killed, dozens more wounded. Israeli forces using tear gas and live ammunition to repel tens of thousands of protesters, marking the first anniversary of demonstrations against the Israeli-Egyptian blockade.
Back here at home, we move on now to the actor Jussie Smollett and the simmering questions about how the charges against him over that alleged hate crime hoax were dropped, what his lawyer is now saying. ABC's Ariel Reshef is right here with the latest. Ariel, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Dan. The discord and drama surrounding Jussie Smollett is still in full focus. Those 16 counts dropped, straining the relationship between prosecutors and city officials, and now some of Smollett's fellow actors are weighing in on the controversy.
This morning, new fallout in the real-life legal saga surrounding actor Jussie Smollett. His attorney, Mark Garagos, claiming on the Reasonable Doubt podcast that it was prosecutors who proposed a deal to do away with the case against the embattled star.
So all I know is they approached us about dismissing it, and not the other way around.
It comes as state's attorney Kim Foxx fiercely defends the surprise decision to drop that 16-count indictment. Writing in the Chicago Tribune, my office believed the likelihood of securing a conviction was not certain.
I think it's hard for people to realize that justice takes many forms, and this is a form that we utilize in this case.
Foxx, who recused herself early in the investigation after exchanging text messages with Smollett's close associates, stressing the move was not a sign of the actor's innocence, saying he has not been exonerated, he has not been found innocent. But the dismissal of charges against Smollett straining the relationship between prosecution and city officials, who maintain Smollett staged a hoax and owes the city $130,000 for the high-profile investigation.
Welcome to the 50th NAACP Image Awards.
Amid the latest tumult, the actor a no-show at last night's NAACP Image Awards, where he was nominated but didn't win for his supporting role in the hit show Empire. Comedian Chris Rock slamming Smollett while presenting an award.
They said no Jussie Smollett jokes. Yeah, I know. What the hell was he thinking? You're Jesse from now on. You don't even get the you no more. That you was respect. You ain't getting no respect from me.
Empire actress Meta Golding standing by her co-star.
We all love and support Jussie, and we just want this to work out for the best. What's fantastic is that the charges have been dropped.
Well, the police chief incensed by the dropping of those charges, saying he stands by the work of detectives and the conclusions of the grand jury. The state's attorney says she welcomes an outside, non-political investigation into how her office handled this case.
Yet more to come on this story, no doubt. Ariel, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
We do want to turn now to the stunning revelation from the lead investigator hired by Jeff Bezos to find out who leaked his private data to the National Enquirer regarding his alleged affair. Gavin de Becker announcing in an article in the Daily Beast that, quote, several experts concluded with high confidence that the Saudis had access to Bezos's phone and gained private information, end quote. De Becker adding that his investigation has ended and his findings have been turned over to federal officials.
Now to a shocking death in Atlanta. A 19-year-old man accidentally knocks on the wrong apartment door and then is gunned down. ABC's Zachary Quiche has more.
On a person shot, bonded with APD.
A teenager is dead and his neighbor is behind bars, charged with murder. Witnesses say the whole thing was set off when Amarian Banks, a new resident at this apartment complex in Atlanta, allegedly knocked on the wrong door by accident. His mother still in shock.
He just simply went to the wrong door. He was just knocking and that's when the guy came out and, did what he did.
Banks, a 19-year-old, was dropped off around midnight. Police say the driver of the Lyft pulled up to the wrong building, about 40 yards from where he intended to go. But Banks, a new resident and on the phone with his girlfriend at the time, didn't notice.
I just hear faint voices, a gunshot, and then I hear him yell, and I heard all the fear in his voice, and he was just, "I'm sorry, I'm at the wrong door." And the man was like, "Nah, you're not at the wrong door," and he shot 2 more times, and then it was silent.
Police say after realizing he knocked on the wrong door, Banks was leaving when 32-year-old Daryl Bynes walked out of the apartment onto the balcony and shot the teen as he walked down the stairs. Bynes was arrested and charged with murder. The shooter's family claims he fired the gun in self-defense, raising questions about whether the shooter could be protected by Georgia's stand your ground laws.
I don't see any evidence that would justify the suspect walking out onto his balcony and shooting the victim, not once but multiple times.
This morning, Banks' mother is still trying to make sense of it all.
It's one of the hardest things that a mother could do is bury their own child.
Just a tragic event. Now, Banks' mother says her son made a mistake, but was a hard-working young man that brought joy to those who knew him. The alleged shooter is in custody, and there's an active police investigation going on. Lots of questions here, guys, but obviously just a devastating situation for that family.
And we're sending our best to the mother this morning. Wow.
Yeah,
awful.
Can't help but think of that family. Thanks, Zachary.
Thank you.
We do want to show you some video now. This dramatic rescue off the Gulf Coast of Florida. Take a look. A 12-year-old boy and 3 men hauled from the waves after their boat flipped over and sank. This is just miles off the shore near Clearwater. The Coast Guard finding them in the water, clinging to their life jackets and eventually pulling them to safety. Thankfully, no one was injured.
Overnight, a dash cam captured something rather interesting in Florida. Take a look at this. It looks like a green fireball. It's seen falling through the sky just west of Gainesville. The National Weather Service says a meteor fell through the atmosphere around the same time this was spotted. So, Rob Marciano, do you think this was the meteor? Can we safely say that?
Yes, a meteor, and pretty much anything that falls from the sky. Hence meteorologists, rain, snow, and the like. Yeah, I fell on my head. That's the problem. Good morning, guys. Good morning, everybody. We want to show you what's happening. Fire broke out yesterday in central New Jersey. About 5,000 acres there in the wooded area. There was a voluntary evacuation and a shutdown of the roadway. No word on how it was sparked, but we do have a little bit of rain heading that way, so we will take it. It was warm yesterday, temperatures in the 70s. Matter of fact, in Edison, New Jersey, where Dan Manzo lives, our weather producer, snapped this picture, 77 degrees at 3:33. Full house there. That's a winning hand, my friends. Also in Cleveland, snow. So the backside of this is cold, and they've got snow in Cleveland, and it's still coming down this morning, now moving up towards Buffalo. Here is where that cold front is. Ahead of it, obviously, temperatures still in the 50s, even some 60s. D.C., by the way, hitting 79 yesterday, but behind it, we're looking at temperatures that are in the 30s. 60 degrees in Burlington, Vermont yesterday. That's the warmest temperature they've seen since October, but obviously, once tomorrow hits, tomorrow morning, I think you're going to want to bring out the winter gear. There is good news ahead, though. The 2-week outlook does look to be warmer than average, but that could bring some severe weather to the plains. That's a check on what's happening weather-wise nationally. Time now for your local forecast.
Hello and good morning, Washington. Cold front on the way this morning, bringing with it some light rain. Should be out of here closer to noon. Temperatures dropping back into the mid-50s at noon, rebounding in the upper 50s, though, with sunshine and some breezy northwesterly winds this afternoon. This will have some colder air tomorrow morning. To the start on Monday, temperatures in the 20s in the suburbs, low to mid-30s inside the Beltway. Looking at highs back into the lower 50s by the afternoon hours. As we look ahead through the middle of next week, temperatures rebounding into the mid-60s.
Ladies are singing on set during the break here as we wrap up.
Not the ladies, just Diane.
No, I thought I heard Dan.
Was it Dan?
Dan was conducting.
Dan with the high note, yeah.
Celebrating the last day of National Women's Month here.
Yes,
exactly.
Nice work, guys.
All right. Great forecast, Rob.
Sports?
Well told. We got some sports to talk about. We do, yes. The March Madness, now another huge upset. #1 seed Gonzaga falling to Texas Tech at a nail-biter for the other top seed.
Half of the Final Four is now set.
The first #1 seed to punch their ticket to Minneapolis.
Virginia marching on to Minneapolis in a classic overtime finish against Purdue. After Virginia was just seconds away from losing the game, an improbable last-second floater keeping their hopes alive.